Hello and welcome to another episode of the Bad Gamer, Good Gamer podcast. We have some PSVR2 news to talk about, as Sony just announced a couple of days ago the launch date and the price of the PSVR2. And it has caused some debates and discussions and flame wars online.
And offline between us.
And offline between us, yeah. We'll get to that hot take in a few minutes. But the PSVR2 is launching on the 22nd of February 2023 for $550. And if you haven't already known this already, I think you can tell where the issue is. It's that price point. But let's get to that towards the end of the video. For now, let's just go over what else has been announced. So there's also Horizon Call of the Mountain bundle for an extra $50. You'll get the game bundled with that. And they also announced a charging station for the two controllers for $50, was it?
$49.99, yeah.
Yes, yeah. So that's about it. You can start pre-ordering on November 15th. In US, the UK, France, Germany, Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg, which is weird, Luxembourg. It's not usually included in these like launches or whatever, but cool for them, I guess. The launch games, it seems I did a quick look at it, and it seems that there's going to be 4 launch games. Obviously, Horizon Call of the Mountains, that's going to be the flagship game of the PSVR2, and that's exclusive to the PS5. There's also a city building simulator thing called Cities VR Enhanced Edition. So
I'm literally checking these now. So
yeah,
while you're talking,
go to the blog; they're all there. So the Enhanced Edition is exclusive to the PS5. The regular, the game already exists, I think, on other platforms. There is a game called Swordsman VR that's also available on Steam, by the way, and there is a nice-looking fantasy MMO called Zenith: The Last City, which is also available on Steam.
This I'm very interested in.
It looks really nice. Now,
I feel like that's a very cool game. Yeah,
it's one of the 3 games that I just want to quickly talk about. But before we start with the other games that they announced that are coming out on the PSVR2, presumably all of them in 2023, the games that I'll mention that are available on Steam. Just keep in mind that the PSVR2 versions will most probably be using all the benefits they get from the PSVR2 features, the haptics, the audio, all that sort of stuff. So just because it's available on another platform doesn't mean that it's the exact same game that's like ported over. Actually, some of the notes on these games that they had on the PlayStation blog mentioned that we have improved graphics, or we are using the adaptive feedback, or we do using 3D audio, or all that sort of stuff. I'll just quickly list all the other games that are announced, and then I'll talk about 2 more that to me seemed interesting. So there's the Dark Pictures Switchback VR. That seems to be an exclusive. There's Crossfire Sierra Squad. That's also an exclusive. The Light Brigade is on Steam. Cosmonius High, which is also on Steam. Hello Neighbor Search and Rescue, also on Steam. Jurassic World Aftermath Collection. The individual games, because it's part 1 and part 2, those are available on Oculus. There's Pistol Whip VR, that's been available on Steam and Oculus for a while. Zenith: The Last City, which is just like I mentioned. After the Fall, available on Steam, and Tentacular, which is also available on Steam. So just 3 or 4 of the exclusive games on the PS5. The rest are, now I say available on Steam, they could also be available on Oculus. I just searched for the game, and the first result that I found, yeah.
There's the link. It's like the link cable, I think. Then you could play like pretty much any game on your Oculus as well.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that. I thought officially available on that store, like a multi-platform type of thing. So the games that stood out to me, you're looking through them now, but the games that stood out to me, Crossfire Sierra Squad. Now it seems like a typical FPS game and whatnot, but I like that the graphics, at least in the video, in the promotional video, the graphics look good. Not like PS5 level, top notch, but it just looked good compared to what else I've seen in their own blog. I read about it, and so they did say that they
looks really cool.
Yeah, it looks good. Yeah. So it has high quality textures and high quality characters and maps. There are over 60 campaign missions, 30 types of weapons, 17 types of enemies. So it seems to be like an expansive game. Now, I'm not sure what the Crossfire games are like, but at least this one, the Sierra Squad, the PSVR2 version, or the PSVR2 game from that franchise, seems to be a heavy hitter. But best of all, it has 4th player co-op.
That's pretty cool. Yeah,
That
that is
was
amazing.
kind of like the icing on top. I really like that. The game looks good. The gameplay seems to be fun, and there's co-op as well, like fourth player co-op.
It's hectic. Like one thing that I was just looking through the trailer, like they were throwing grenades and then you can like catch it and then
Yes,
throw
and
it
throw
back.
it back. Yeah, yeah. So,
Like yeah,
so
that
you could
looks really cool.
also like use callback signs with your hand, like just like you see in movies and TV shows if you're playing with other people. So there is that also hand, sort of like control, where just like you said, you can not only throw grenades, but you can throw back grenades,
Yeah,
which is really cool. You have to have like a really good VR hand-eye coordination to be able to do that. But I'm assuming it's something that people can like quickly get the hang of. So yeah, the game seemed like a full proper game. I liked it. The next game, even though it's not old, but they highlighted a few things about how the PSVR2 version is better, or like the added features that they had, and that's Pistol Whip VR.
yeah, that looks
Now,
really cool.
on its own, it wouldn't intrigue me now because it looks like a typical VR shooter thing, like very colorful and whatnot, and it doesn't seem to be like open world or like in a map or something. Like it seems very VR and limited. But once they like talked about what the improvements in this version are, I thought like it would be worth mentioning. So because of the feedback and the adaptive triggers on the controllers, they're able to have like special or like individual feedback for each type of weapon, and also different levels of the tension on the adaptive triggers depending on whether the clip is empty or full. I really like that part
Yeah,
because
like you feel it when it's
yeah,
empty.
exactly. Yeah, I'm assuming that if you're shooting, then like it's going to be a bit more tense, and if you're out of ammo, then it's just going to be like like
Loose
the
or
tension will
something.
be
Yeah.
gone, so it'll be loose. Exactly. So I really like that because it solves a problem that I sometimes have when I'm playing, an FPS or whatever, like anything with guns and ammo. I sometimes forget to look and check my ammo. Like I'll only find out that I'm out of ammo once I run out of ammo, and like I was like, oh, like I have to like reload and whatnot. If they do this in a way where it's gradual, where as like as you shoot more bullets, the tension loosens a little bit, you'll have that one extra sense of
To
you know
reload real quick.
yeah to
Yeah.
like yeah or like to be aware of how much ammo you have in your magazine. So I like that. They also added like it's going to be 4K HDR compatible. Now with this game, like based on those aesthetics and those visuals, 4K HDR is going to be amazing because it's very like colorful and like like there's a lot of lights and whatnot. Looks really good. 3D audio and SSD optimization. So just that. And then finally, Zenith, The Last City.
This has been
Have you seen
out
it?
already. Yeah, I've seen it, and like
Yeah.
it's already out. But like, I want to deep dive more into it. Like, I want to personally experience this game because it looks so cool.
It looks fun. So yeah, it is already out on Steam, right? It's a fantasy MMO, so you cast spells and you do that sort of stuff, and you get to meet other people and play with them. For this version, they said that there's going to be a new story with new cast, a new like system, a new gameplay. The graphics have been updated. The adaptive triggers again they come into play. So the what they said is that you can feel the energy when powering up your swords or the resistance when firing blasters. So again, it gives you that one extra sense in VR, like to be a bit more immersed. These adaptive triggers are awesome, as well as the headset feedback for whenever you clash with an enemy blade, or if you do like a swift dash or a slow pulse when you're like approaching death, or if you're like at low health. That's fine, I guess. But in VR, I'm sure
Yeah.
it would make a huge difference.
Yeah, I'm not saying much because like just going back between videos and like like
I
swiping
think
through videos, and they all look really good. And I think
they do.
just to get back, like I know you said only Steam, but I saw it's released on the Oculus as well. Like
Well,
on
yeah,
the
I mean,
store.
I said in the beginning that if I say Steam, it could also be on other platforms because I just listed
I just
whatever
double
the first
checked.
result came
Yeah.
out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The ones that I know for a fact are on Oculus and Steam. Pistol Whip is on both because I saw that on the website. Jurassic World Aftermath Collection, I think, is just on the Oculus because I think on the website they just listed the Oculus, like they only had that logo.
Right.
All the others could be on both. I don't really know, but yeah, It's a good collection of games, not a lot of exclusives, but I didn't expect there to be a lot of exclusives with a new launch like this. I just hope that there will be, exclusives later on.
Down the track. They were working, or they made it a point to have games by the time launch happens. So I think it's around 11 games or something in total.
Yeah, I think it's more than, like, on their blog they say
More
11 games, but they don't really mention Horizon Call of the Mountains, for example. So I think it's more than 11 if you really want to count every single game. Swordsman VR, that's also not on that blog post. So let's say close to like 13 or 14 games overall. Now here's the question. Let's assume that there aren't that many exclusives, but the games that are available on the PS5 or the PSVR2, which are also available on other platforms, the only difference would be that those games have, they utilize the adaptive feedback, they utilize the better lenses and all that sort of stuff. Like it's a better experience.
Yeah.
Would that make you buy a PSVR2 just to play games that are available, for example, on Steam, but in a more enhanced sort of environment or more enhanced experience?
It depends if it's your first VR headset or not, and if you want that experience to begin with, like the more immersive, like you said it yourself, like most of these upgrades or like these experiences will be unique just to PlayStation VR2 with the 3D audio and the haptics. I think these two set it aside from most of the others, if I'm not mistaken. Which we will be talking about after. But to me, I feel like since PSVR 1, everyone was like, whoever was on the fence on PlayStation VR specifically will be more compelled to try this one just because the technology is better, the graphics are clearer, or like it's using all the latest, or so like most of the latest hardware that we come to expect now with like other headsets out on the market as well, which we will get to later. So to me, I feel like it's a compelling argument to have VR. And I think some of the first games, PSVR 1 games, are having free upgrades or free
yes, so if you already own the game, now this depends on the developers, right? So it's not a PlayStation thing. So it depends on just like the upgrades from PS4 to PS5. It's a developer-based decision. But if you do have some of these games, if you do have them on PSVR, you'll get a free upgrade to the PSVR 2 edition or version or enhancements.
So it's the fact that you can, I don't know if all the back catalog is available from day one, but at least let's say most of the PSVR 1 experiences that you miss out on will be available on PSVR 2. So it's already a compelling experience. Like there are some good games that came out of PSVR 1. I think Batman was one of them. I don't know. Again, I'm not sure if it's coming to PSVR 2 or it will be available on the store day one, but I know eventually they will eventually be backwards compatible if the developers make it so. Right? If they provide the free upgrades.
Yes.
Yeah.
But wait, hold on. The PSVR 2 is not compatible with PSVR titles.
Unless there's the upgrade.
Well, exactly. So yeah.
That's what I mean. Like if they open it up to more PSVR 1 titles on PSVR 2, it'll make it even more compelling to get it day one. That's the
developers will have to work on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it worth getting it from day one? From what I see, I don't know. From Horizons, we heard from like Eurogamer, IGN, people who have experienced PlayStation VR 2 with Call of the Mountain, say it's a very great, like an amazing experience, and like feeling the haptics and everything work together. Like again, we're just hearing.
And Resident Evil Village, don't forget.
That too. That's right. Yeah, that's going to be a thing too very soon.
Yeah.
Actually, is it out? It's going to be out soon. The DLC.
I think soon. I didn't really check, to be honest, but.
But PSVR.
But my question is that specifically for the games that are not exclusive to the PS5, like if the games you want to play are available on both platforms, right? And you have the choice: do I get the PSVR 2 and play it on the PS5 with these improvements, or do I just get it on my PC, for example? And
well, it comes down to price for this kind of value proposition. Like if you're putting the experience aside, and you're saying whether to play on PlayStation 5 or PC. I don't know if you want to get into the topic now, unless you have other things.
No, we can get into it now. Yeah. So the big debate here is the price, the $550. Yeah, that's
some
a big
people.
Debate.
Yeah, $550 for the bundle, or for not even the bundle, for just the headset and the controllers. And people have said Sony have gone insane with the pricing. So this has been the common sentiment
Yes,
online. Like
over
initial
online,
reaction.
online. Everybody's like, I mean, all the memes are out. Everybody, the best meme that I saw of this is that the PS5 has now become a peripheral for the PSVR2.
That's a good one.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, it's
Look,
insane.
it's a fair statement. Yeah, it's
Because
more
if you're in
expensive.
the US, because if you're in the US specifically and only in the US, the PS5 is cheaper than the PSVR2.
Right.
Because everywhere else in the world, the PS5 is $550. In the US, it's $500.
Correct.
And the PSVR2 is for $550.
Now, hold that thought. Like, this is what I want to say. Like, the thing with VR, and we're gonna just put the Quest 2 aside from this argument, that you're gonna need the headset and a base station or a PC in this, or like, either the console or the PC to run VR games. This is what it's known for.
Yeah.
So, other than the Quest 2, which we will do the comparison. I have a few numbers or a few gaming headsets comparison and one non-gaming headset comparison in terms of price, and see if really the pricing is as crazy or insane as some people say. But I personally don't think so when you put it together for the proposition. But let me say the numbers and then we'll discuss. So I'll start with the gaming headsets. So the HP Reverb G2 headset, MSRP is $599, and it's on sale now. And you check this on their website. It's
On their website,
$399.
yeah, $399, yeah.
Yeah,
but
which
the
is
MSRP
amazing.
is $599, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to be comparing MSRP. So
Yeah.
for comparison's sake, obviously things go on sale all the time since
Yeah.
they're older headsets. The Valve Index, which I feel like is the closest thing to this as of yet, in terms of, I think so. The Valve Index is $999 on their website, which includes the headset, the base stations, and controllers, without the PC, mind you. Just
And Half-Life Alex.
and Half-Life Alex. Thank you for that. So we're looking at like already like $600, $1,000 for these high-end headsets, gaming headsets.
Yes.
So now I'm gonna just put the price out there, and then you can argue with me later. The MetaQuest Pro right now is $1,500, and this is like the latest, the newest headset. Even though it's not a gaming headset, you can still play games, and it's targeted towards businesses and like creatives or whatever.
It's for the metaverse. It's for the workplace environment. It's
Right.
for that part of the VR sort of landscape, not for gaming.
Yeah.
It can play games,
Correct.
but it's
I'm
not
just-
a gaming headset.
Yeah, I'm just bringing it to light as a qualitative comparison, like in terms of like high-end specs, what's the price at? And obviously the MetaQuest 2 being the cheapest out of all of these headsets, and with not needing a base station, or sorry, not even a base station, a PC or a console attached to it, is between $399 and $499, and this is after the $100 increase in August.
In August, yeah.
Yeah, so these are the official MSRPs. So that's the range where the PSVR 2 is sitting. So now we have to take the full picture. So because you can't run the PSVR 2 without anything, you need the PS5. So if we take the base PS5 digital edition, which is at MSRP $399 before the $50 increase, the total with the headset becomes $949. So like less than the Valve Index, and a bit more, and more than the HP Reverb. Like we're going to compare it like to like for now. And like after the $50 increase, you're looking at $1,000 straight up. But that includes the PS5. Now with the PS5 disc edition, it'll be $499 before the increase. So the total with the headset will be $1,050 and $1,100 post the $50 increase. So you're looking at pretty much $1,000 to get a full VR experience with the latest headset or the 3D audio, the haptics, and play PS5 to get into VR. Whereas if you want to get a VR on PC, you still have to spend $600. Let's say the cheapest one, $600 plus a freaking gaming PC with like I think a minimum 3060, if I'm not mistaken, to like run.
Oh
VR
no! You can do VR with lower
less?
than that.
Lower?
I've
Okay.
seen I've seen
2060s maybe. Like I think
I don't remember the details, but I've seen like, because don't forget the HP and the Valve, they're older devices. So
Yeah.
the 30 series probably wasn't out when the HP Reverb came out.
I feel like 20, either 20 series or like
It should
at
be
latest
20
10
series, but I think
Yeah.
you can also play it on the 1080 or Ti or something like that.
Yeah.
But definitely 20 series. And
Fair
I've
enough.
seen people build like, a budget VR gaming builds. Like, this machine is good for VR. And I don't remember how much it was, but it's not like the crazy $600-700 gaming PC sort of like price ranges. There are budget options that you can do if you
I
really
would
just want
like
to play
to see
VR.
this. Yeah, like
I'll
the
try to
base
find you
VR
something. I'll try to find you something and share that with you. But
But like,
Yes.
let's say you still need an amount, whatever.
yeah,
the
you
amount
still
is,
need you still need
put
to
it.
spend you still need to spend a lot of money to get into VR, whether it's on the PC side or the PlayStation 5 side.
Yeah.
The story is a bit different if you already have both devices. So if you already have
Exactly.
a PS5, then you just need to get the PSVR2. If you already have a capable gaming machine, then you can just get whatever you want.
Yeah.
And if you want, you can also get the Quest 2 if you're not looking for the latest and greatest. If you want like what used to be a budget option, the $100 price increase is just like
Made it
crap.
less. Made it
Yeah,
less
yeah, yeah.
less of a
Yeah,
factor, or
it's
more of a
it's
factor
still
between the two.
yeah, it's still cheaper than the PSVR 2, and you don't need to have a console with it if you don't already have one, right? So
Right.
like, yeah, like okay, so from my perspective, if I want to get into VR, I'm not getting a PS5 just to experience the PSVR 2, right? I'll just get
Because
whatever
you
I
already
can.
have a
on
good
my-
PC. Because you already have a good PC.
Yeah, exactly.
that's
Yeah.
fine.
So it's not compelling enough to it's not compelling enough to sell consoles. It's compelling enough to just sell its own self, like the device itself, if you already have a PS5. I don't think it's at that stage where people will get
Go
a
and buy both.
PS5 just to experience VR on it.
But that's what I mean. Like, if you want to, you only like if you want the full experience from scratch, and like I want to jump into VR now, and I don't have the PC, I don't have the console. Okay, you just need $1,000, or like $1,000 for
No.
either
If you want to
edition.
start, no, you can get it for $400 with a Quest 2. If you want to get into VR
No,
now,
no, I'm talking.
You're,
I'm talking. Yeah, no, sorry. I meant using the PS5 as like your starting point. That's
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if you want a PS5, like the VR experience using PS5, you need $1,000. If you want like not the latest, like just to get into it, you need $400. We're looking at the lowest.
or if you want
tier.
something for the PC, then it could still be around 1,000 something. But
Yeah.
then
you still
once
need
you-
a PC. I'm
you still
saying
need a
from
PC.
scratch. Yeah,
yeah,
Like,
from
if you
scratch. Yeah,
need-
yeah. So from scratch, I'm going to I'm going to assume that you can get the headset with a PC for around $1,100 if you spec your PC correctly. I'm going to assume you can do that, even if it's like a bit like even if it's just an extra 100 or two more. The argument can be made. You've got a gaming PC. You've got all these VR games as well. So you've got the VR, the gaming library at your fingertips, not just a dozen or so. Yeah. So
But yeah, but the argument is like because they're console people for a reason.
Yeah, yeah,
People
yeah, of course,
who
of course,
like
yeah.
consoles is to boot it up. I want to run my stuff. I don't want to update. I don't want to worry about configuring, which is what PC Master Race is used to and are familiar with. But like if you want, okay, like the Quest 2, I would say probably less tinkering. Like they have their
Yeah.
store. If you want
Yeah.
to get set up straight away, probably the Quest 2 is best for you. But if you want something high end, all the bells and whistles with the least amount of like resistance to get into VR, PlayStation 5 complete, we're talking like the
Yes.
console plus the
Yes.
headset, is like it makes sense. It's not a crazy, like my point of bringing this qualitative comparison is like it's not an insane proposition when you like put it next to the other headsets, gaming headsets alike. It makes
no,
sense.
I get it, but it's still. It costs the same as the console. Like that's still something that people can't get over.
It hurts.
right?
Yeah, it hurts.
Yeah,
Of
it
course
costs
it
the
hurts.
same as the console itself, which in a lot of regions people still can't find that console. Like it's still an issue in the US and
Not
Canada,
at that price.
as far as I
Not-
know. Yeah.
Not at that like MSRP price. as
Oh no,
well.
we're talking
that's
like
the other
if you want to go to the store and just buy it or whatever, not like
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow that this thing is going to cost another PS5.
550. Yeah, another PS5.
Yeah, exactly,
$550 if you already have the PS5. $1,000
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah,
don't.
yeah. If you don't, yeah, it's got a huge barrier of entry into VR if you don't have a PS5.
But that's the thing. Like well, I feel like for barrier to entry, like if you have a PS5 and you want
No, I'm
to
saying
get
if you
into
don't
VR,
have a PS5, it's a huge barrier of entry.
yeah, but that's the thing. If you're waiting for something to get into VR, it's already a hard pill to swallow. Like you're gonna spend thousands of dollars, whether on a new PC Plus headset or a PS5 Plus headset. You're gonna spend $1,000 minimum.
Or $400 on the Quest 2.
Yes, but we're talking like high end. I'm talking about like the latest.
Well, that's why I asked you in the beginning. That's why I asked you in the beginning. Like, if you just want to play VR games and you're not really looking for the exclusive stuff on the PS5 or for those features, like, would that matter to you? And I think to a lot of people, that would matter. Or sorry, like it wouldn't matter to them. Like these high end like adaptive triggers. Like, I just want to get into VR. I'll just play on what's available until the PSVR2 becomes cheaper or something else is out and whatnot.
If you're still on the fence, I think it's best to stay on the fence. Like, just wait. Wait
because,
until like
because,
the price decrease.
I mean, the proof of that, if you compare before the PSVR2 came out, the Quest 2 versus the G2 from HP and the Valve Index, which one was the most popular?
I think the
headset?
Valve. Oh no, the Quest 2. Sorry,
The
more
Quest 2,
popular?
exactly. Yeah,
Obviously.
even though the others had better specs, right? They had better specs. But the Quest 2 is the one that sold. The Quest 2 was the one that was always recommended, like in terms of value proposition and all that sort of stuff. That's what I'm saying.
And that's why I'm saying if you want to compare like a standalone headset, even though it is aimed at corporate, it's 1,500 for the MetaQuest Pro if you want the latest. Plus,
No, that comparison does not make sense. You're comparing
Really?
apples to oranges. Yeah, you know that
I'm just
the
saying.
Quest Pro has a 90 hertz refresh rate, and in order to actually use it in VR, if you want to be completely immersed, because the sides are completely open from the bottom,
But they come with the slits. They come with like an attachment, don't they?
you have to buy the attachment if you want to use it for. And even when you buy the attachment, it's still open from this side, from the nose area. That's what I'm saying. It's not intended for gaming. This is Meta, not Facebook. This is the Meta Quest Pro. Right. It's all about the metaverse. It's all about shared work, environments and all that sort of stuff.
You can still play your game if you want, though.
You can still play a game on a non-gaming laptop. Doesn't mean that you can compare the non-gaming laptop to a gaming laptop. That's what I'm saying.
But you can. Like that. It's like it's
No.
there.
So if I buy like an ultra thin and light laptop that only has integrated graphics and does not have a discrete GPU, that costs more than a gaming laptop, does it make sense to compare that gaming laptop to that thin and light? No, it doesn't, because the thin and light is not intended for gaming. You can play games on it, but it's going to be a terrible experience. You can buy an eGPU and use that horsepower if you want,
Right.
but it's not intended for gaming. You compare gaming laptops to gaming laptops, just like you should compare gaming headsets to gaming headsets.
That's fair.
That's my point.
I put it there. That's fair. That's a fair point.
I think
but
the
I'm saying it for the
$1,500 price point. No, but dude, you can get
just the price point. That's it. Like just for the price, like just to show you that it's still
But
under,
it's
like the game.
but it's not relevant. It's not relevant at all. At all, it's not relevant.
It's not relevant, but it's still VR. Like when we're talking VR landscape, you should still include what is out there. That's what I mean.
Well, no, not if it's VR that's intended for something else. Just like I said, a thin and light business laptop should not be compared with a gaming laptop.
I know, but
Two
that's why I
different
said
markets.
this is a qualitative like comparison. That's it. Like in terms of pricing, like the PS5, the whole point of me putting the Pro at 1,500 is to show that it's still value proposition is still reasonable. Like we are on a reasonable stage.
If you're talking about value, it's not reasonable. It's not even comparable, because the value of this headset is different than the value of that headset. The intended use case of this headset.
Yeah.
That's my point.
That's your point, yeah.
Comparing the Quest Pro to any gaming headset, even if there's a gaming headset that costs $2,000, like a dedicated gaming headset that costs $2,000, comparing the Quest Pro to it does not make sense, because the Quest Pro is intended for one thing. That hypothetical $2,000 headset, which would make me wonder, like, what would it have?
Yeah. I was just comparing the latest of the latest. That's it. That's my point of view. You said your point. That's it.
Yeah, it's like comparing the latest Mercedes to the latest Toyota, or the latest whatever. Like, again, not a fair comparison.
Not a fair, but like I just put it there. Like even I had the fair points and I had the unfair point just for comparison. That's it. For my comparison's sake.
So in conclusion,
so what do you think? In conclusion, what do you think? This is
I think, regardless of what the other headsets cost, I think the PSVR2 is expensive, considering that they increased the prices of the PlayStation 5. So if you don't already own a console outside the US, you need to like pay an extra $50, right, to well, not an extra $50. You need to pay $550 to get the PS5, and then an extra $550 to get the PSVR2. Even if you already have a PS5, $550 for the PSVR2 still sounds like a lot to me, because yes, it's more advanced technically speaking with all the features, but the library is much smaller than what you can get on a PC.
For now, for now. But like if they open it up to PSVR1, like let's
still going to be smaller than the PC VR gaming library, is what I'm saying. You have the Quest 2. Even at its $100 price increase, it's still cheaper than the PSVR 2. It does
only
not
by $50
match its.
Like if you're looking at like $50 or
exactly.
$100, like it's
$50 or $100, exactly.
Yeah.
$50 or $100 could mean a lot to some people, but you have a bigger library, and if yes, it doesn't match it spec by spec, 100%. It does not, but I don't think that matters to a lot of people. That's what I'm saying.
Fair enough. So you think it's not worth the buy right now?
If you have the money, go ahead, and you want to play these games, like especially Horizon and Resident Evil Village and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, of course it's worth it. It depends on the end what you're after, but I think it's
like
but
it comes down to what you want, like experience.
We mentioned this in the past in the previous episode, how the Quest 2 was the big push in VR in the mainstream, and we were hoping that the PSVR 2 will then take it that next level. Yeah. At that price point, I don't know if it will.
Honestly, if it's at that, the only way it will take it to the next level, which I'm hoping they either open it up later or it gets hacked, is that if it's compatible to PC. The moment this thing, even at $550, if this latest, DualSense haptic feedback 3D audio at $550 is workable on a PS5 and a PC, it's an instant buy. It's worth.
But when you say PC, do you mean there are PS
Steam
games on the
no.
PC? Oh, okay. Oh, open, completely open on PC. Oh yeah. If it's completely open on PC, yes, I said this I think even last time. If it's available on PC,
that's why we're bringing it up. This is why we're
but as far as we know right now, it's not. It's just a PS5 peripheral. When the PS5 really is the peripheral, it's a PS5 accessory, and that's why I'm saying I don't think at that price point, even though it has the advancements and even though it might have some nice exclusive games and nice experiences, but at that price point, I don't think it's going to push VR forward as much as the Quest did. But if it's available on PC, completely open on the PC, yes, 100%, that's going to be...
I think that's... If they open it up, because if I'm not mistaken, the connection that's needed to connect to the PC, to the PS5, is a USB-C cable. It's one USB-C cable.
It's a single
USB-C,
cable.
Thankfully, is an open, it's available everywhere, on laptops, on everything. So theoretically, again, this is just me. I don't know how it's going to be the actual real world experience, or they've locked it up so tight that no one has access to the hardware itself. But I feel like along the line, it will be open at some point, whether officially or unofficially. And that's the point where it makes sense to pay the full amount, because then you have access to PSVR games and PC titles using the latest of everything on as a VR headset. So that's how they can push it forward.
But yeah, so that's it. We gave you guys our hot takes, our opinions on it. It's still overall a great device. It's still overall, it should be cool if you can get your hands on it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I think people have a right to be a bit upset about the price, regardless of what other devices might cost or whatever. But still, we've said our points. Any last words, Fatfood?
Nothing. Just make it open, Sony. Make it compatible to PC day one, so I can buy it. So I can be this is an insta buy for me. That's all.
I'll hold you to that.
Yeah. Thanks for watching the episode. Drop a like or comment and subscribe for more content, or go to badgood.gg to find our audio podcast. We're on Twitter and Instagram at badgoodpod, so give us a follow there, and we'll catch you in the next one.